What's happening, guys? We're back and we're gonna make that final mount for the A-arms. Alright guys, last episode I asked you guys to give me a hand figuring out what we were gonna do on that A-arm mount. A bunch of good suggestions. The one that I think we're gonna go with is to flare out the mount. So essentially the mount would come straight out, kick out, and then get wide enough for the heim joint. There was a couple of really good suggestions. One that I need to mention was to basically modify the A-arms to fit the chassis, or modify the chassis to fit the A-arms. That would be the right way to do it, but it would require me to remake those A-arms, and I'm just too lazy to do that. So we're not going to do that. But good suggestion. We should be doing it, but we're not going to. So what we need to do today is cut 2 more of these tabs, and then we're going to take and actually cut the tab, bend it, weld it, make it flare out that 1/2 inch. So let's template them out and cut another set of tabs. So we got both the tabs made, the contours all made and whatnot. Now comes the hard part, is that we actually have to cut this section off and kind of box it back into the upright. So I need to modify my jig a little bit. So I got clearance to bend the tabs in, and then I've marked out where I need to bend them. I think what I'll do is I'll throw a cutting disc in the grinder and cut most of the way through these lines. So then I can bend that tab slightly, and it should mate up to that upright. So let's pull this jig out, modify that, and then cut the tabs. We got the bends done. It worked really well actually. So they got nice, clean, sharp bends. The next step, before we tack these onto the chassis, I'm gonna come in here and weld up that cut line that we made. I mean, we've cut through 90% of the structure. We gotta add it back in. And then we'll clean up the chassis and tack weld these and these other tabs that we made for the other side of the mount. We'll tack those all onto the chassis, and then we'll have all our mounts done. So let's get to welding. All right, so we got those welded in. They're just tacked for right now, but same thing as all the other tabs. I want to get the A-arms in there before I final weld them and before I do any of the boxing in. So I think we're gonna call it an episode there. Next episode, I think we're gonna get the lower control arms modified, so then we can bolt everything up to here, make sure all the suspension works, and then fully weld and box everything. So that's our plan for next week. In the meantime, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, hit the like and subscribe button. Go check us out on Instagram, Leftfootfirst Media, and we'll see you next week. I'm out of here.